become trainers. Now, over the 5 years, we realized that our young women are no longer girls. They're no longer 15. So we had to change and adapt the program. So this is where the Young Women for Peace and Leadership comes in. So what we do is we're in 5 different countries at the moment, and I'm doing a call out to anyone who comes from any of the different countries that I'm going to say. If you're interested in a program like this, you're always more than welcome to reach out. So we're currently in the Democratic Republic of Congo, in South Sudan, in Indonesia, in the Philippines, and we've recently, in October, expanded to Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. So how it works is there's 4 components. So the first one is about leadership. So we take these young women who are already leaders in their own rights, and we teach them how to become teachers. So we teach them how to implement 1325 and 2250 in rural communities. So for example, in South Sudan, unfortunately in rural areas, 99% of women have never held a pencil. Can you imagine? I certainly can't imagine them not knowing how to hold a pencil. We do that every day senselessly. So these young women, this is tier 2, go into rural communities and teach literacy. In South Sudan right now, the majority of our young women are actually relocated in Uganda in refugee camps, which do not have formal schools. And so this is why the literacy component is so fundamental for them. In the Philippines, where education is seen as a right and education is more widely spread, the young women are looking at peace building, which is our third component. So the peace building for them, when we ask the young women, what do you want peace building to be for you? How are we going to support you in promoting peace? They said, well, let's use social media. So they're utilizing tools that we already have to be able to promote their agenda and to promote the grassroots implementation of both Security Council resolutions that work for them. So women, peace and security, and youth, peace and security. And through social media, they've actually gone a lot of gain. Recently, there was a plebiscite in the Philippines about a law that was coming into the parliament, and there was a referendum. And so the Young Women for Peace and Leadership in the Philippines actually promoted a huge campaign online in their areas and did a peace forum. And the plebiscite passed. So they've succeeded. In Bangladesh, it's a little bit more difficult, obviously, because the majority of them are in refugee camps. So again, this is the literacy component. Now I'm going to go to my 4th component, which is economic empowerment. I don't think I have to tell you how important economic empowerment is for anyone around the world. I'm still going to tell you. So when we went to the DRC in July, Mavic, our CEO, and I, we asked the young women, what do you want to focus on? What would make your life more peaceful and more independent? And they said, well, you know, the biggest problem that we have right now, we understand what the rights are, we understand how we want to implement them, but we can't do that because we don't have money. And those who do have money don't let us decide how to use it. And so we said, okay, not a problem. Let's figure that out. And so we gathered the young women for the last year, and they've created 7 micro-businesses. So in all of North Kivu, there are 7 groups of the young women who've decided to implement micro-businesses and have actually found profit out of it. Now the big unfortunate thing is that the money that they're gathering is actually going to implement more of these things in rural communities. So they're actually using the money that they're making. Instead of only using it for themselves, they're having to put it towards more peace building because the global community is unable to fund these things. Even us at GNWP, we're having a lot of issues with sustainable funding, which is something we hear about all the time. So, how many minutes do I have? Okay, no problem. So I think my biggest thing to leave with you today is, for one, for the young people in this room, can you please raise your hand if you're under 30? Raise it wide, super loud, super high. I want you young people are not the future. We're not the future. I'm not 30 either. We're the present. We're here right now. You have to own it. Okay? These young women who are going in rural communities every month to give literacy training, or these young women who are fighting to be able to sell different aspects of jewelry that they're making, hand making, they're owning it. We can all own it too. So please, please, please support one another. I'm really tired of hearing, oh, well, they're doing a project, but there's only room for one person over there. I don't care. Just show up. Go. Demand your seat. That's what I tell the young women. And they keep telling me, oh, but the government doesn't let us. I don't care. Go. Knock on the door. So, own it. Be bold. Who's over 30 here? Be proud.
Everybody
Be
else.
proud. Yeah, let's clap for them too. Now, my ask for you is to support these young leaders. There's no competition here. Age is just a number. We're here to support each other. And that's how we're going to implement human rights and global peace.